Look at the timing on that swap into the Venu.
And so we have Kazuka on the left, Kakkoiij on the right. We have Venusaur versus Altaria in the lead. I would expect an immediate switch out, which we do get. Switch into Umbreon, which is a decent neutral matchup against Altaria, and then counter swap to Azumarill.
That is a hard counter swap.
Mostly because the Umbreon does not have Last Resort.
It is only carrying Foul Play. Wow.
So this is going to be rough. The Azumarill can just tank these foul plays left and right. I guess fire off this play rough immediately, which I'm not sure about. I guess the Umbreon has enough health that it's okay, and you can probably just farm down Bubble at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even with how tanky Umbreon is, I don't think with one play rough you're going to get it to a point where you can just straight Bubble down. But you know, again, this was before also the Snarl boost, so it's not gaining energy quite as quickly as it will now.
And now we have a swap into an Azumarill, forcing the Azumarill mirror. I'm just going to use a play rough there, and staying in because or at least initially staying in because they don't have great Azumarill answers, given they're running the Altaria. But it does turn out that Kazuka's Azumarill is on Ice Beam play rough. And so this Bastion is just going to just soak up those charge moves.
Kazuka's getting walled left and right. Left and right.
So yeah, it really shows you how important moveset choices can be. Because, you know, if Kazuka had Hydro Pump, this Bastion matchup would be a lot better. In fact, Azumarill would be favored with the Hydro Pump. And so now Kazuka comes in with the Venusaur, knowing the Venusaur is a liability against the Altaria in the back. Is forced to burn a shield on that flamethrower, but at this point is going to be able to get off a Frenzy Plant to just take out the Bastion. Good no shield by Kakkoiij, knowing they can come in with Altaria.
It looks like they missed actually their swap window. Did you see that? They predicted their swap into the Altaria, and they tried to go immediately into Umbreon, but either they clicked away or it didn't register.
Yeah, sometimes depending on the timing of your charge move, it won't actually register the swap. So now it looks like Kazuka is trying to time with the Umbreon to eat a charge move from the Altaria, but well played by Kakkoiij, counter swapping to Azumarill and just taking it out immediately with a play rough. At this point, the Azumarill is going to get... Oh, I thought they were going to get farmed down, but I guess taken out with the Hydro Pump, or Frenzy Plant. And now Altaria is just going to clean up. When Kakkoiij won the lead and had some hard counters given the moveset choices of Kazuka, and so was able to, wall the Umbreon with Azumarill and then wall the Azumarill with Bastion.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out now that Kakkoiij knows the Azumarill moveset, and also now that Kazuka knows that Kakkoiij knows the Azumarill moveset.
Yeah. It seemed really rough for game one. Wait, who's on the left? It was Kakuza, right?
Kazuka, yeah.
Kazuka. It seemed really rough for Kazuka for game one, getting walled left and right. First by the Azumarill with the Umbreon that only has foul play, and then getting walled by the Bastion with an Azumarill that does not have Hydro Pump. I don't think that's something they could have predicted, though. I think that's just how it played out. I feel like that really just came down to the matchups. I think, at least from what I saw, there was a great amount of skill on both sides for these plays. But, those walls, you're not really going to be able to play around that. It's really tough to do. FFA. Kazuka Kakkoiij.
So Kazuka locks in a Azumarill lead against Kakkoiij with an Umbreon here. Kakkoiij at least has Last Resort, but does switch into the Defense Deoxys. The Deoxys is a little behind on energy, So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But it looks like we do have a counter swap into a Defense Deoxys as well. Knowing just how tanky Defense Deoxys is, you can kind of just soak up that energy lead a little bit.
DD versus DD. Aren't you going to be favored in the mirror if you're carrying a Rock Slide?
Yeah, in general. I mean, if you go just Psycho Boost, that's not going to help you as much. But I guess figuring they can just chip away with repeated Psycho Boosts here. But this is getting a bit closer than I would have expected. No shield on Kakkoiij's side. Barely able to tank that, but not able to get to the Psycho Boost. So losing switch advantage here. Neither of them have used any charge moves at this point, or I mean any shields at this point.
Why did he go for Psycho Boost into the Umbreon? He had Rock Slide.
Probably just panicked and didn't think he'd be able to get it off. So expecting the Azumarill to come back in. Oh, interesting. Coming in with the Venusaur instead. I'm not sure about that play. What do you think?
It's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal because the Umbreon went for the last resort against the Venusaur anyway. I think it would have been more ideal to just go foul play into the Venu.
Sure, but even still, I mean, Azumarill would just really soak up that move. And so now, it looks like Kazuka was thinking about switching to Azumarill, but ends up either not or not being able to. That foul play does hurt quite a bit, and Kakkoiij is able to farm down with Snarl at that point, getting off the foul, or the last resort here, and in a pretty good spot because they do have that Venusaur in the back.
It's interesting too. I think this what they might have been counting on is trying to get rid of the Umbreon with Ice Beam to farm down to build up energy. I mean, it's questionable obviously because they're getting another last resort, but you're going to take the last resort. You definitely want to save the shield. That puts you in a really rough spot against the Venu here. So
Venu is going to have to shield this Ice Beam. Oh, the Venu gets to the Frenzy Plant first, forcing a shield. But good shield because the Ice Beam is ready. So now, all shields are down. And the Azumarill's almost dead at this point. But it barely gets to that Ice Beam, but will that be enough?
I don't know if this Ice Beam is going to even KO at this range. I think the Venu might be able to Vine Whip down.
Ooh, that's close.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a good catch, questioning, why they went into Venu versus the Umbreon.
Yeah, I think if they had brought in a Azumarill versus the Umbreon, I think they would have won that.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, we saw first in these kind of like elite trainer playoffs, these are some high-ranked, high-skilled battles. I think, some people are bound to get a little nervous, get a little shaky, sometimes make a, questionable play or press a charge move a little too fast, right? I think maybe that's just what that was.
Potentially, yeah. See, I think it's a 2-0 for Kakkoiij now, and it's a best of 5. So if Kakkoiij wins this next match, that'll be it. Kind of an uphill battle here for Kazuka because he's going to have to win 3 games in a row if he wants to advance.
It's going to be rough. Uphill battle indeed. I think I can. Chugga chugga choo choo. Here we go.
So we have a Umbreon mirror match in the lead. This is going to favor Kakkoiij just because Kakkoiij actually has that last resort. And Kakkoiij was pulling up that switch menu expecting a switch out because they know that they're favored here.
Goes for the foul play, huh?
And no need to shield this foul play. It's not going to do that much damage because it's resisted and Umbreon is just so tanky. So it'll be interesting to see if Kazuka elects to switch out at any point or if they just stay in this losing matchup. Because Kakkoij's Umbreon is certainly favored here. With, just having that last resort is a huge deal.
Do you think they're probably trying to double stack their only charge move being foul play to back against the Umbreon that has last resort and then do a quick swap out?
Potentially, but the Umbreon has quite a bit of energy too at this point. Oh man, they're just...
how many snarls are we going to get in, boys? What's going on here?
Oh man, this no shield, I think it'll tank it, but man, the Umbreon's getting low for sure. And no shield by Kazuka. I think that's a good play, especially because they are able to tank it.
Yeah, they're just trying to trade charge moves.
Man, they're both getting so low. I think
feels like they're just trying to push it down to CMP.
Good play by Kakkoiij there, just going for the foul play because Last Resort wasn't necessary. And at that point, the Umbreon was so low it wasn't able to do anything else. But at least Kakkoiij did get a charge or
no shield,
or was able to get switch advantage rather. Yeah, no shield. That Frenzy Plant does take quite a bit of, or does do quite a bit of damage.
It's hard. I'm not surprised to see another shield with Divino here at this point. I mean, I feel like it's worth the investment to be more threatening since you already had one Frenzy Plant land, right? Another one would definitely.
Yeah, you know you can definitely.
And we see a swap. Okay.
Oh man, and a pretty good play there by Kakkoiij. I think switching out with energy, knowing they're going to want to save that energy for the Venusaur in the back. And I think this matchup is definitely a lot closer because the Deoxys doesn't have Thunderbolt. But those Psycho Boosts are still just spamming away. And oh man, Hydro Pump going unshielded here.
No, that's painful.
But it's not quite enough to take out the Deoxys. And now Kazuka is forcing a tough decision here because the Azumarill does burn the shield, but now the Azumarill is kind of defenseless against the Venu in the back.
No shield.
Well, I mean, the Deoxys is almost gone, and they'd rather use Venu here, right? They should be able to, with a shield, I think they could have gone just for Vine Whip to faint down, but I guess they don't want to take any chances. Just fire off the Frenzy Plant. And at this point, this is basically GG because Kazuka has the shield, and it looks like they were about to time out.
Yeah, they were about to. It was getting there. It was at 3. I think there's just a little bit of lag for these players here. But I mean, yeah, like you were saying, that's pretty much GG's at that point anyway.
Kazuka ends up winning that game by timeout, actually. Because the Venu had more health than the Deoxys. It looks like Kazuka's sticking with that Umbreon here, even though it's a little bit of a liability against Umbreon and Azumarill.
Well, it's good to see it at least open up against the Deoxys this time.
Yeah, so it is favored here. I think that's why they're bringing the Umbreon. It's for that Deoxys lead, which they're able to catch here. It'll be interesting to see how Kakkoiij plays this. Because Altaria and Bastion are both pretty good against Umbreon, but both of them do have their share of hard counters, so it can be a little risky switching them in. So it'll be interesting to see if they make a switch or if they just stick it out, and it seems like they're just sticking it out here.
It's crazy to see something that you think would just be a liability in almost all scenarios, right? To have a Umbreon that does not have Last Resort. But then he brings it again anyways. It serves its purpose. This is why he brought it.
And so here we have just two of the bulkiest Pokemon just slowly but surely trading blows here. And so a quick swap into the Deoxys, trying to chip away with that double super effective counter damage. Does go straight for the Rock Slide, which is going to hurt the Altaria for sure. But because the Altaria doesn't shield. And interesting, the Altaria looks like it's carrying Dazzling Gleam here.
Is that Dazzling? It has Dazzling Gleam. Okay.
So interesting moveset choice, running Dazzling Gleam as opposed to Dragon Pulse. Which could end up paying off against that Umbreon. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, indeed. Fairy will be super effective to the dark.
And so, but I mean, at this HP range, you don't need the Dazzling Gleam. You just want to go for Sky Attack, because Sky Attack is going to do enough damage as is. And yeah, just ride this Altaria. Oh man, no shield. they might end up regretting that when they realize that there's a Venusaur in the back.
The Altaria fall. Well, I mean, you have a flamethrower, but Bastiodon I just don't think is going to be able to keep up with Venusaur, even with a shield.
Oh, this is going to be close.
No way, Bastiodon.
I mean, Bastion did have quite a bit of energy.
That Bastiodon's locked and loaded, man. It's good to go.
Yeah, but now it still has to deal with this Umbreon in the back, and if Umbreon gets to a foul play...
Oh, it's done for.
Oh, yeah, and Umbreon just barely gets that foul play. So, Kazuka so far comes back from 2 games down.
2-2. Chugga, choo-choo, I think I can. It's happening. Even if it didn't work out, I think just even watching these, it was super satisfying to see that the Bastiodon overcome the Venu. I mean, rip GG's to the Umbreon matchup, but that was good anyways. So this is it. This is for the cake.
So favorable lead by Kazuka here. Venu against the Azumarill. I'm expecting an immediate swap out, which we get because the Azumarill's not carrying Ice Beam.
Into D-Deoxys,
okay. So now D-Deoxys, and that's why Kazuka brought this Umbreon, is specifically for this D-Deoxys matchup. That's, I think, the entire reason they brought it here. And it has, it seems like this game and last game definitely paid off.
Beautiful. I mean, the team comp, especially considering how this lead situation worked out, and he still brought the Umbreon. He played that perfectly.
Good no play or no shield here by Kakkoiij, because now they can bring in either the Azumarill or the Umbreon and just farm, because they're not afraid of these foul plays. I do think the Azumarill is probably the better play here, and they're just not going to shield, and they're probably just going to go straight bubble to try to farm. And so we have the defense Deoxys coming in, Azumarill just firing off that play rough, gets a shield, and now switching to Umbreon, which is an interesting choice because, I don't know, what do you think about it? Umbreon's obviously favored against defense Deoxys, but at the same time, you know that you have that Azumarill versus Venu matchup in the back, which could be a little worrisome.
Yeah. I mean, by gut instinct, I would have gone with Umbreon in the matchup, you know, during the battle too, but like you're saying with the team comp and how everything's played out, it might have been the wrong choice to make to come in with the Umbreon versus the defense from Deoxys.
So Kakkoiij farmed a decent amount of extra energy there before using that foul play. And so the Umbreon here is almost at another foul play at this point. And so, let's see, we have the Umbreon. So we have an Umbreon mirror now. Good play by Kazuka, knowing that Umbreon is more of a liability against Azumarill. And so might as well bring it in again in the Umbreon mirror where it's a little bit closer.
Even if it's not favorable, yeah.
Yeah, it's not favorable, but it's not quite as bad.
Look at the timing on that swap into the Venu. That was perfect.
And now this Azumarill's not in a great place because both the charge moves are resisted. Going straight for the Hydro Pump.
Shield it. Okay, good.
Oh, I mean, it's still resisted though.
The Hydro Pump landing on a Venu though, that'll do massive damage.
And it looked like Kazuka did farm up some extra energy. And oh man, just goes
double.
And yeah, just double frenzy. Good double energy frenzy. Management.
Wow.
And well played. You know, it was looking like a little bit of an uphill battle because Kazuka had the Umbreon against an Umbreon and the Azumarill, but Venusaur just really carried at the end. Two very good players, and what a comeback by Kazuka, coming from 2-0 down to win the series 3-2.
I almost felt when those started, I almost felt like it was going to be a sweep, a clean sweep. That was insanely impressive to see the, you know, the depth of thought, especially with the Umbreon plays, right?
Yeah, the single move Umbreon definitely impressed me because it seemed like a liability early on, but it seemed like in the later games that Kazuka definitely found ways to use it a little more effectively.
Exactly. And I would have made the wrong play. I hands down probably would have been swept myself, because knowing that I had that disadvantage with my Umbreon not having Last Resort, I probably would have just not brought it. But I think the Umbreon that did not have Last Resort is what really brought those plays to life for these playoffs here. That was nuts. That's really not what I expected at all.
Yeah, and just really great games by both of them though.
Indeed, mega GGs.